Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Quierete Mucho podcast. I am your host, Stacy G, and this is
Elisa Diaz.
my wonderful co-host, my mother,
Thank you.
the woman who gave me life.
Oh,
You did, girl. Do you ever think about that?
yes.
All the
I
time?
do. Yeah, all the time.
Did you, when you were pregnant and they told you, because you found out I was pregnant. I mean, you were pregnant. You found out my gender when you were at the hospital, right? Like in the old times, no tenían gender reveal parties.
We don't have a parties, but we have ultrasound, so
Uh-huh.
they tell us. But since I got pregnant, I always wished to have a girl.
Really?
And I had a girl.
So when they did the anatomy scan and they told you it's a girl,
I say yes.
really?
I
What?
knew it.
They told you at the doctor's, or were you like, I want to
At
wait?
the doctor's office.
Was my dad there?
No, he was working. I went for a regular checkup, and that's when they told me.
And
Because
then-
they asked me, do you want to know? And I said, yeah, tell me.
Oh my god!
But then when I told you that, he was really happy. Because I always say, I'm going to have a girl. I'm going to have a girl.
And you did.
And I did.
Y aquí ando vivita y coleando.
Gracias, Dios.
Amen. Yes, but you guys, this is our official first Christmas episode.
Yay!
Oh my god. So as you guys can tell, we went I quote unquote all out with the decorations. I feel like I could have gone a little harder, but literally I started decorating this morning and I was like, I wanted to look super cute for the Christmas episodes. You guys know that we pre-film. So I wanted it to look very Christmassy in here. I wanted you to feel the vibes and I want you to be excited because we are in December.
Yes.
Gracias a Dios, we're another December down. And this December is extra special because we have Santiago.
Yes.
So seeing Christmas
First
through
Christmas.
his first Christmas, seeing it through his eyes is a beautiful gift from God. And I'm so grateful that we get to experience that.
Yeah, finally we have a little one
A
in
baby.
our family.
Yes. So many traditions we're going to start. But
That means we're going back to toy section.
to the toy section. Yes, we're going back to the toy
Yeah,
section.
love
Yeah.
it.
But today, Mom, we're not here to talk about Christmas.
Uh-oh.
We're here to talk about just kidding. No, well, I asked you guys on Instagram what you guys wanted us to talk about because we take into consideration you guys' input a lot. Obviously, we're here to serve. We're here to answer your questions. We're
Yes.
here to make you feel better about your choices. And we're here to quote unquote guide you in a way. Like, not that we're the ones that have all the answers, but sometimes you just need a third party to hear you out and to be like, well, what am I thinking? How am I feeling? So today we decided that we're going to talk about mother-in-laws.
Beautiful.
Beautiful topic, yes.
But
But-
I love it.
A lot of people would say, Mom, no beautiful, very scary.
Well, we will try today to go through my experience.
Yeah.
Is when I got married, and then now I'm a mom, and I have a son, and also I have my son-in-law, Danny.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go through
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
to see the good and
And the bad.
excellence.
The good and the excellent. Yeah, so vamos a saborear el tema, right? So I feel like my kind of content on social media, especially TikTok, is a lot, or used to be a lot of advice, right? And one of the questions that I would always get from people was like, how do I deal with my suegra? My suegra is tóxica. My suegra is mean. Suegra, for those of you who don't know English, is mother-in-law. My suegra is all in our relationship. My suegra has no boundaries. She's in love with her son. Like, there's a lot of women who have a really negative experience with their mother-in-law. And that must be so heartbreaking, you know? I remember when I was pregnant and I also wanted a girl in the beginning because I wanted a girl. That's true. That's what it is. And I remember when I saw the blue powder come out at the gender reveal. No me dejes mentir. I was shocked.
I saw your face.
I
Yeah.
was, and then even after the gender reveal, we came in here to eat, and I think I was like, I didn't talk for like an hour because I
know,
was
you were in shock.
I was so shocked. And
Yeah.
part of the reason was because I realized I'm going to be a mother-in-law one day
Beautiful.
to a girl, right?
Yes.
And I feel like that comes with a lot of responsibility because the women always go with the mom. It's really easy, right? Like,
yeah.
women, we always go with the mom. Like, Mom, me cuidas a los niños. Mom, what do I do? Mom, can you help me out with this? Very rarely do we go with our mother-in-laws, right? And I realized then I'm going to have to work twice as hard to make sure that my son's wife loves me.
Of course.
And I know I might not be her first choice when it comes to, can you help me with the baby, or can you come over my house and help me wipe my butt or whatever? But I will be a good second choice if they need me, my son and her. right?
Exactly.
So, can you share a little bit of your experience? You had a mother-in-law, right?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about my
My
grandma.
relationship
Yeah, like how
with your
was it and
grandma.
stuff.
Well, this is a really good topic.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because, I always go by the Bible, and I
Yes.
always go by what I have lived
Yeah.
and how I'm being in a process and I'm becoming better. But when I first, well, I should not be talking a lot about your grandma because she's no longer here.
Yeah.
And but I will try to do it in a softly and lovable way,
And
just to be,
yeah.
to help others,
Yeah.
or to talk about my experience. But my first welcome into, it's hard for me to say it because when we talk about things like that, we our brain doesn't know about time, so you kind of leave those moments again. But I'll try to do my best and talk nicely. The first time I met your grandma, your dad and I went to his house, and your dad introduced me to your grandma, and
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that came out of your grandma's mouth was, "Oh," and she was quiet, and then she says like, "Oh, what's your name?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I say my name, and right there she told me, "Oh, your family is not recognized in the city, right?" Like I wasn't coming from a really prosper or nice family.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, like I feel like a boom inside of me.
Right.
And of course I didn't feel comfortable and welcome,
Right.
but I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
I went along with the conversation. But when I went home, after I spent some time there, I went home and I was crying
Oh.
because I didn't feel welcome.
Well, and to give people some context, because if you're not from Mochis, this might be kind of like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? But basically, Mochis is a very, very, very small city. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad's family came from money, right? So my
Mm-hmm.
dad's family came from money, and it was the kind of quote unquote society where my grandma had somebody picked out for my dad to marry.
Yes.
That was another family that had money. So
her
my
best friend's daughter.
yeah, so my grandma wanted my dad to marry her best friend's daughter because that family knew each other and that family knew that there was
Mm-hmm.
money. So the first thing my grandma told you was, "You no tienes nombre. You don't have,
Exacto.
what are you gonna
Árbol
do?"
genealógico.
Sí, no tienes,
Like
yeah.
you're not coming from a wealthy family,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. So of course, when you meet somebody, especially they bring you into a new home and all this stuff, new family, and they told you that, and it was devastated for me. I went home and I cried. And then one of my sisters says, "What are you crying?" And I say, "Because, my boyfriend mom says that I don't have a wealthy family and this and that." And of course, my sister got mad at me and I said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to cut a tree and we're going to give it to you." Things like that,
Yeah.
they start talking about me and with me to make me feel better.
Yeah.
But that was the first welcome that I have from my mother-in-law. After that, I gonna make the years pass into a small thing so I can talk about the other part, the good part.
Yeah, because, well, we could just say you had a rough beginning with my grandma.
I had
And
really
then
rough
how long were you and my grandma on bad terms?
for years.
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 Because I remember being old enough to recognize, I was conscious. I remember this. And I
Yeah.
remember you staying home or not, or like my dad would take us by himself to see my grandma.
Yes.
For a while, I remember we didn't go to her house. I didn't know
Yeah.
why, but the relationship wasn't always good.
Wasn't really bad. Was really bad because, for example, they do something really nice in the family. They will call you dad, and they will be talking at the table about family subject, and then they will tell you that, "Oh, we don't want her to be here."
Ay, no, qué
Yeah.
horror.
I suffer those kind of things.
Ay, no.
So your dad will come to me, call me, by the living room or whatever, and he will says, something. My mom wanted to talk about whatever subject, and she doesn't feel comfortable you here because it's a family thing, and it hurt me really bad. But I
You were
say,
married already?
I was married already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't the one that that she had choose, to marry your dad. So she did it a lot of times, like
Yeah.
you know, like
Made you
made
feel
me not
uncomfortable.
feel, yeah, welcome or whatever. So I got to the point that I always got rejected. So it got to the point, and then I told you that I don't want to go. Just
Yeah.
take the kids,
That makes
take the
sense.
girls, and I don't want to be there because I don't want to be there and then tell me, oh, you have to leave because we're going to be talking about whatever,
Yeah.
And so it happens a lot of times. I didn't feel welcome. I told your dad, like, just go take the girls to see your grandma.
Well,
I
and
mean, your mom are gonna be here.
you know what the crazy thing is? Like, you obviously, I love my grandma.
Oh yeah, I
I
love her
l-
too.
well, you're speaking on those back then days, right? And I never realized that she was like that with you, obviously, because I was a child and I didn't
Yeah.
know. But no matter what she ever did to you, she was always a good grandma.
Oh yeah,
She
she
was,
was excellent
oh,
grandma, really
ex,
happy,
yeah.
easygoing, and everything.
Right. And so she was a good grandma. So it's so sad to me to think back. My grandma passed when I was like 13. She passed the year of the divorce. And
Yeah.
so she passed when I was 13. And I never had a negative experience with her because obviously I'm her grandkid. Like, she never made a difference between us and like los hijos de sus hijas, right?
Exacto.
So
Yeah.
she was an excellent grandma, and it makes me so sad that obviously she treated you like that because you're my mom. But something I remember one time I talked about this on social media, how even though you didn't have a good relationship with her, I still got to have an amazing grandma.
Yeah.
And I don't regret that. Like, I love my grandma. I miss her to this day. She was a wonderful grandma. So I know there was a couple of people who told me, well, if you don't get along with me, you don't get along with my kids. Like, a lot of women hold their kids back from having a relationship with their suegra because they say, if you treat me like crap, I'm not going to let you see my kids. Right?
Oh no, I never do that.
So what made you kind of be like, oh, you guys can still have a relationship with her even though she treats me like crap?
Because we had to understand. Even though I was young, I understand that the fire was against me, not against my girls. Because I see you, grandma, treat you really good.
Yeah, she loved
So
us.
she loved you guys, and I, the time that I was there, she was really lovable with you. So I thought of myself, oh, it's only me.
Yeah.
It's me. Something about me that she doesn't like. So when I stopped going, that's because every time I go, she didn't say nothing about you guys or
Yeah.
anything. She was really lovable and giving you love and all the stuff, giving you stuff in the house and always, like asking your dad for you guys. So I realized that the problem was me, not my kids. So what I will hold my kids
Yeah.
from the love of the grandma when
Yeah.
was something about me, not you guys.
Now, when obviously as parents, we all have our own rules. Like, por ejemplo, don't give him candy, don't give him soda, don't give him this, don't give him that. Would she respect those boundaries with you?
Actually, I never put boundaries like that. What I do, and I still do, even to myself, I'm straight with me or with you guys when you were kids. Like in the house, I tell you, don't do this, or you can have this much of candy, or you can do this or that. But the day that we go somewhere else, I let you guys be. Like if she give you candy, I respect that. Because we have to understand. I mean, we do rules in our house and with our kids, but sometimes when you go with somebody else who loved your kids, let them treat your kids okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise is if I have you, like how many times I take you to your grandma?
Once a week,
Once a
only.
week. All right. So I have you 6 days a week. 6 days a week, I follow the rules with you, right? And the day that you go visit the grandma, let the grandma be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about me,
I,
Santiago.
I laugh because, side story, ahorita me dice, let the grandma be. Me está tirando subliminales. Because right now, I have this quote unquote rule where, like, when he's in his crib with his little toy on, like a toy that has music, it's
my
his
God.
me time. Like, I kind of leave him by himself. I don't interact so he can learn to play independently. And right now, while I was setting up for the podcast, he was playing independently y ahí va la abuela haciéndole relajo y le digo a mi mamá, me lo vas a maleducar. But then she's, but I get that
But
concept.
That's the
We're
point.
learning.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's good because
Yeah, 100%.
the kids know when grandma comes. It's to give all the love that
Yeah.
she's been holding for
Yeah.
5 days, for
Same.
a week, So good thing when I was young and you guys were, little girls. Good thing I understand that.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
if your grandma give you something, I respect that.
Nice.
You know,
You gave her space to be a grandma.
exactly. That's one thing that I always respect, because I realized that I was the problem for her, not
Wow.
my kids. Even though I was young, I understand,
Yeah.
because I can see you can see when somebody's treating your kids the right way,
Yeah.
and giving the love,
And
and
that's
they
what
want
you
to
want.
please the kids, and that's what you want at the
Yeah.
end. You want your kids to be happy.
100%.
And they need to be with the parents,
With the
you know,
grandparents.
with the grandparents, because they need that kind of love from them
I
too.
agree.
So why I should stop my kids getting some love from the grandma just because she doesn't like me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought about it, and that's why I told you that. Yeah, take the girls. It's fine. Oh, you don't want to come? And I didn't even tell you that. Why? I just don't feel welcome. You know, I don't want to be rejected so many times. But that's why I did that. But you guys, you were good. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, to kind of piggyback off your story, I kind of want to share how it went for me when I met my mother-in-law. So obviously I've been with Denny 5 years, and I thank God so much because there are good mother-in-laws out there.
Of course.
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
wonderful mother-in-laws. And just to share a little bit of my story. So when I met Denny, I remember I met him at a bar, and that same weekend, he's like, my family's having a party. Do you want to come over? And I remember thinking, oh, it's going to be a small little party. There's going to be his siblings. No va a ser nada grande. Well, Denny has 7 siblings. There's 8 of them. And at the time, all the girls, which are the 5 sisters, the oldest sisters, they were all married. So they all had a partner. And then his brothers also had partners. And I remember when I walked in, first of all, it was winter, and I was so self-conscious of my tattoos. Like,
Okay.
I was really worried. I was like, oh no, like my suegra's not gonna like me. At the time, I always called her suegra, but I was like, his mom's not gonna like me. She's gonna think bad of me. She's gonna think bad things. Like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I want her to accept me, because I felt very strong about Denny since the beginning, right? So I thought, Denny told me since I met him that they were a Christian family, that they would go to church, that they grew up in the church. So I was like, oh, no me van a querer. Like, she's going to not want me for her son. I was stressing, girl. Like, I was stressed out. And I remember we went to the party, and everybody was really nice. Everybody was really welcoming. Now, mi suegra es una persona muy callada. Like, she's very quiet. She's very subtle, very, just very quiet into herself. And I remember when I met her, Denny was like, oh, mom, this is Stacy. And yo, mucho gusto, señora, mucho gusto. I didn't wear a long sleeve shirt. I mean, I didn't wear a short sleeve shirt in front of his family
Because of that.
for months, girl.
Wow.
Months. I was embarrassed. I was like, she's not going to like me. I was stressing. And funny thing, I remember I told Jenny, please don't tell your family what I do for work. I think I had just started being a YouTuber. I was like, please don't tell your family what I do for work, because they're going to look me up and they're going to see that I have tattoos. And I was so stressed out. Looking back now, it's like silly, but it's truly what was in my heart. Y ahí va el Denny a decirle a su familia que hace el Stacy en el trabajo. So then obviously they looked me up, because I'm sure, I don't even know how it happened. Denny till this day says, I didn't tell him anything. I'm like, you're lying. But anyway, he told them, and at the time, one of his nieces was like 3 or 4, and I remember I came over one time, and the niece at the time, she said, oh, I want to have tattoos like her. Like, I want to have tattoos like her. Y lo dijo en español, y mi suegra dice, ¿quieres tatuarte como ella cuando estés grande? Dijo mi suegra. So that was kind of like,
cute.
yeah, it was like my suegra telling me, I accept you.
Yeah,
I accept you
it's
as
a
you are.
beautiful reaction.
Yeah, and my suegra has never, not once, gotten into a relationship. She has always been respectful of us. Like, something I admire about my suegra is that she's like, those are my kids, but they don't belong to me. You know what I mean? And so that has allowed me to have such appreciation for her and to have so much love for her. And it makes me want to include her in my relationship, because no se mete ella.
Yeah,
She waits to be invited in. So con gusto le abro la puerta. Suegra, esta es su casa. Usted haga lo que quiera aquí. You know? And so I feel like when women are like that as the mother-in-laws, you're a little bit more welcoming of them and more like, no, come in. Like, you can come in. You can be a part of our life. As opposed to a suegra that's like queriéndose meter a huevito, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, going back to my relationship with your grandma, I just talk about the beginning of a relationship, but
when did it get good?
It got better because one time years passed and I stopped going. You guys went, and then was a time that you didn't even want to go, and then I remember years past, and then we were living in Mexico, and then we came for vacation to go to Disneyland.
Yeah. To San
And
Diego, huh?
yeah, to
I
San
remember.
Diego. And then your dad was talking to your tia. Then your tia says that she was gonna go to San Diego because your grandma was there in the friend's house. So I don't know, out of the nothing, it came to my mind, like, because your dad stopped going to your grandma's house also,
Oh, to
for,
respect you.
yeah, to be with me, because I didn't want to go, and I ended telling him that I wasn't feeling welcome and what was going on inside of me. So he says, okay, I'm gonna stop going too, so you don't stay alone. And I say, no, it's okay, you can go. And then he says, no, it's okay, I don't like my mom's, what she's doing. So anyways, we stopped going for 3-4 years, something like that. And then
Wow.
when we find out about your grandma being in San Diego, and we're gonna go through San Diego to come to LA, out of the nothing, he was driving, and I told him, like, how do you feel if we stop in San Diego to see your mom? And he looked at me like weird, like, what do you mean? What are you saying? And I say, you know something? I think it's time for us to go back. And he says, why are you saying that? I thought you don't want to have a relationship with my mom. And I say, you know something? I don't know. I think we're missing something. The girls haven't seen your mom for years, and I don't want to be like this anymore. I want you to have, relationship with your mom again. And it's okay. I would take whatever she has for me now. So he respect my wishes, and he says, if you want to do it, it's fine. We stop. So we went and see your grandma, and she was really surprised. Was your tia there already? You remember that time?
Yeah, I remember that trip.
Yeah, so we stopped in San Diego, and we see your grandma, and she was looking at me like she saw a ghost or something. And I remember she was really, really happy. And then she says, oh, I'm so happy you guys here. I can't believe it. She hugged, everybody, and she was really, really happy. And I say, she told me, like, oh, thank you for coming. And I say, don't worry about it. This is your son, and you can have it.
You can have him.
Yeah, we're gonna be here like 4 days in San Diego, so you can spend all those 4 days with him. Don't worry about it, about me, about anything. Spend time with your son. And she was like, what's going on? Because we had to understand that it's two women for the same man. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's a really like triangle, like moms. And I will get to that point that you're going like,
But let me get to it, because
yeah, get to it first, and then I'll say.
because it's not two women for one man. That's not, in my opinion, it's not the right terminology, because I feel like it's, even though I have a son, that man is not mine. That little baby boy that I adore with all my being, mom, I would do anything for that kid. He's not mine.
I know.
And
but
one day, espérame, one day va a llegar alguien que va a decir, es el amor de mi vida. Y le voy a decir, amén, mija.
yes,
Amén, mija.
exactly.
And I feel like it's heartbreaking to think of as a mom, but I would never want to think to myself, like, the man for me is my husband.
Exactly.
And the man, Santiago, es de Dios.
Amen.
Santiago is de Dios. And when a woman comes and and I pray it's a good woman, comes and says, I love him so much, I'm going to say, good for you, girl. Me too.
Yeah. But you have to understand. That's why after I talk about this part, I will go and say, what did I learn from that? In that moment, I can say there was two women.
Did you feel like you were competing for my dad with my grandma?
I wasn't competing. And my point, I wasn't, because I understand everything. That's why I let go. And so those 4 days, I was the younger person, and I was the more mature in that moment, right? Because I understand that she didn't welcome me, she didn't like me, she didn't want me.
But do you think it was because she was like in love with my dad, or what?
No, I don't think she was in love with your dad. I think she just wants somebody else for your dad, and she didn't got it. So I think since the beginning, right? So, and those 4 days that we spent in San Diego, I want her, and I want your dad, because you loved your husband so much, and and you see this, like he's not going to see the mom
Yeah.
for years, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So it had to be me, the one that tell my husband, you know something,
Go.
go back.
Yeah.
Have a relationship with your mom, because I have my mom, and my relationship was beautiful, and I always need my mom.
Yeah.
So they always need the mom, you know, because us as wife, we're not the mom.
Nope.
We're the wife.
Yep.
So we have to understand too that the man needs a relationship with the mom.
Right. So bring
Right.
it back. Let us know.
So I told my husband, like, you know, those 4 days, please spend the most time with your mom.
And that is beautiful.
And when my mother-in-law saw me and everything, I said, don't worry about it. Those 4 days is your son. I'm not here. I will take care of the girls. You guys, you know, go back and get all 4 years or 5 years, I don't remember exactly, that you lose conversations, you know, love and dedication and everything. And I saw your dad so happy those 4 days. He was so happy, and your grandma was so beautiful happy. And the thing that it is that I'm so thankful to God, and I'm so happy that I humble myself and I stay away so they can be together, because later on, your grandma wasn't spending time in San Diego, because that's when she found out she had cancer, breast cancer. We don't know.
Yeah.
But God knows, and he prepared my heart to let go your dad that time.
Yeah.
Because when we find out that she was sick, and she was in San Diego because she didn't want to tell the kids, you know, her kids and everything. She didn't know what to do with that news that she had. So I was so happy that I was able to let go this fight that was going on for years. You know what I mean? So after that time, we went back to your grandma's house and everything. And I don't know for how long. And then that's when the cheating came and the divorce and everything.
Right. So let's bring it back a little bit, because I feel like you said you saw my dad so happy, and I want to touch on the point, and I want to talk about the relationship or the difference between like wife and mom. Right? Or like partner and mom, because I feel like those lines get crossed a little bit. Like when a mom romanticizes her son, right? We see that a lot on social media. Like,
but that's not right.
It's not, but it happens, right? If everything was perfect and it was like, okay, everything's perfect, we wouldn't be here, you know?
Exactly.
But women, a lot of times what happens is they get with the man, right? Any man, and they're not really 100% satisfied with this man, and they're like, okay, ya estoy treintona, ya me tengo que casar, este está aquí, vamos, este me toca, right? And then they'll have a son, and then they'll raise that son to be the man of their dreams.
Oh wow!
Right, so then they'll raise
really
they'll raise the son to be the man of their dreams. Like their little boys will open doors. Mommy, you're so beautiful. Mommy, I'll help you. Mommy, I'll do this. I'll do that for you.
Good.
Right, but then when it's time for this little boy to date, to go out with girlfriends, to get to know women, then the mom starts feeling like, wait. This boy that I raised, that has been my companion, instead of pouring into my husband and having a relationship with my husband, I poured all of this love into my little boy. And now you're going to take him?
Oh, wow.
Now you're going to take him from me. And what am I going to do? I'm going to be left with the husband? I don't want him. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so a lot of women will romanticize and have a relationship, an emotional relationship that they're supposed to have with their husband. They'll have it with their son. So then obviously the son, the boy, everybody loves their mom. The majority of people, we love our mom, right? And so we accept our mom as she is. And so when a woman comes and falls in love with this boy, right? And then he starts, oh, mom, I'm going to go to her house. Mom, I'm going to be gone all day with her. Mom, we're going to go on vacation with her. You know, that's when the mom becomes toxic, because she starts to see the daughter-in-law as the competition. Exactly. He stopped loving me because you came around. He stopped doing things for me because you came around. When it's like, girl, this was never your husband to begin with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you love him and he's your beautiful baby boy, yes, but a son shouldn't replace the love of your partner.
And I can imagine if they have a husband, imagine somebody like me, like we don't have a husband and I have a son in my house.
Girl.
Like, oh, no.
So
I think it's really sick.
Well, we say sick. It's just what happens without judgment, right? For anyone who's
we're
listening.
not judging anybody, but
No, we're not judging anybody, period.
but what I say is, as a mom, because I'm a mom of the boy,
yes.
and my son is 21, but I love my daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
So I will go back to say that how it ends with your grandma, because I said the bad part, but I will say the good part. Because after and then we talk about a little bit about suegras being like that, because I will give my point of view and how I've been working on myself now that I'm a suegra.
Yeah.
Okay, so after your grandma let us know that she just find out she had breast cancer, and we were so happy to go back to her. And after that I went back and I humbled myself. We started a really good relationship. Even though she knows that your dad was doing bad to me, then she came on my side. When she find out that your dad was doing something wrong to me, then she stepped up for me. She talked to your dad, and she's staying strong, like, you're not gonna bring me anybody else to the house. You're gonna respect my house. You're gonna respect your girls. Your girls are the only welcome in this house, your kids and your wife. I don't want anybody else. So she stepped up for me. And then we become friends and everything. Really good friends. And that was so beautiful, because your grandma didn't live for long after that. And I'm just really happy that when she had to go, I can never forget when we went to church, and that was the only really good time, or the only time that I hugged your grandma and I kissed her the day before she died.
Yeah.
And for me, it was so peaceful, and I thank God, because God gave me the time to be
there with
mother-in-law and daughter relationship, really good relationship.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
So I'm in peace. I love mi suegra. Now I remember mi suegra. She was so joyful, so smart, so always happy, singing all the time. And I just remember, and I love everything about her. I learned from her a lot. I remember when I got married, she cooked the meals that we served at my wedding, and until today I honor her memory, because on Christmas, that's the food that I made.
Yeah.
And I always made that dish because she made it for me in my wedding, and it's a way to honor my suegra's memory.
Yeah.
So at the end, we were friends.
Yeah, I love your suegra too.
I love my suegra.
I miss her till this day.
Yes.
I miss her to this day.
She was a happy soul, even though she went through a lot of stuff.
She was the happiest person I remember ever.
She was always singing.
Yeah, I miss her.
So I've been learning to remember the good things and the good moments for everybody.
Yeah.
But now going to those moms that raise their kids to put all the dreams on them as a relationship with the men.
That romanticize their son.
Exactly.
So
that's really bad for me.
Well, I don't want to ever judge anyone. I don't want to stay here and say you're wrong, you shouldn't be doing that, because I always feel like everybody is a certain way because of their own life experiences.
Exactly.
So if you are listening to this and you do feel like, oh, I kind of feel closer to my son than I do to my husband, or I have a bad relationship with my daughter-in-law, I don't want you to think that you're bad. It's just where your circumstances have led you, and we're just here to talk about it. We're here to talk about it from a perspective point of view, right?
Yes.
So a lot of times, the majority of our audience, I would say, is in a position where they're not the suegra. We have a younger audience. Like, girls are probably my age. So they have a bad relationship with their mother-in-law, right? So I don't think we have a lot of mother-in-laws. Comment down below if you are a mother-in-law. But I think a lot of times when people ask me, what would you do if you had a bad relationship with your suegra? And I think the most important thing is you don't deal, or it's not smart to deal with your mother-in-law one-on-one. Because if you have an issue with your mother-in-law, the person that needs to talk about or talk to the mother-in-law is your husband. Because there is the common denominator. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, el ponerte al tú con tu suegra y al decirle, like, oh, suegra, this, and that, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth because it's her son's job to say, this is now my family.
Respect.
Yeah, this is now my family and we're gonna do things this way. And if you like it, you're welcome to join us. If not, I'm sorry, mom, but I married this woman.
Exactly. I think the man, because when you marry your wife and your kids, that's your first family.
Yep.
That's your main family.
Yep.
And as a man, as a husband, and especially because you know your mom more than your wife.
Yeah.
You the one as a man, they had to cross the line.
Put the boundaries.
Put the boundaries there. Like, something your dad took some time to realize, because in the beginning I say, oh no, it's okay. Take the girls. I don't want to go. I keep quiet for a long time. I didn't say that. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel welcome. I don't want to be listening like, oh, she had to step out because of this or that. It's ugly. You when you're in that position, it's really bad. So I don't want to make it a big deal with your dad. I don't want to put your dad to shoes. I don't know. I think I was doing the things the right way, because instead of telling him, oh, don't go, or don't take the girls or whatever, I step on the side. It's okay. You can go. I don't feel like I want to go.
Well, and I think that's a smart choice, because I feel like a lot of our listeners would probably, who do have tough relationships with their mother-in-law, would say, I don't want to deal with her, right? So what is the smartest thing to do when you're in a position where you don't like it? Step out, leave. Like,
exactly.
Don't interact, you know?
Exactly.
It takes two to have a fight, and if your suegra wants to fight by herself, let her. You know, if she wants to talk to the wall, if she wants to scream, if she wants to yell, if she wants to talk bad about, let her talk to the wall. The best thing I feel like you can do with your suegra or with anyone who doesn't like you is let them talk to the world, you know?
But it takes two to make a fight.
It does take two to make a fight. And so I think the smartest choice is, if you're having a bad relationship with your suegra and you obviously can't control her because she's another person, right?
Exactly.
The best thing to do is step out, let her have a relationship with her son, and, ya cada quien decide if they let their kids go to see their grandma. I'm 100% super grateful that you never held us back. Like, you never used us as
a weapon.
Against my grandma. Like, oh, if you're not nice to me, I'm not gonna let you see my girls. Because that allowed me to have a good relationship with my grandma.
Yes.
Who I have a lifetime of memories with, who I love so deeply. And when I look back, I think to myself, I can't imagine if you would have picked to not let me have a relationship with her. Like, I wouldn't know how amazing she was.
No. I'm so happy that I never stopped you guys for going.
Me too.
Because what I see in your grandma was a wonderful woman. I mean, was so beautiful. She was always happy. She always dancing and singing. And,
she was always the life of the
liked
party.
it, but I didn't understand. I was so young that I didn't understand why she didn't like me, But I wanted to be accepted. I want her to like me, but I cannot make her to like me, So I got tired. I cannot be taking so many reject.
Of course.
Times to be rejected. It was too much.
And that's why I say, like, you did the right choice by pulling yourself away, because I know of people in my personal life, no naming names, but I know of people who have a bad relationship with their mother-in-law, and dude, to be fighting every single day. And the thing is that they don't even fight straight out. Like, I don't like you, leave my house. No, it's like subliminal little messages. And
it hurts.
It's exhausting to be living like that. It's exhausting to be fighting with someone who has decided that no matter what you do, they're not going to like you.
Yeah, they don't like you.
And so in my mind, it's like, if you have decided that you don't like me and that I'm not good for your son, or that there's nothing I can do for your son, that's fine. But your son likes me. So you figure your feelings out. I'm going to go have a relationship with your son. I'm going to step out.
And also it's really important, because it just came to my mind. I remember because when your dad used to take you with your grandma, it was for an hour or 2 hours. So sometimes I go to my mom's house and then my sisters were there, right?
Yeah.
And they always say, oh, where are the girls? Oh, they're with their dad and con mi suegra. And they always say, how come you don't go? And I say, oh, because I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And they will start talking bad, like, oh, why you let your girls go if you're not going? And I say, because it's a grandma.
Yeah.
It's about me right now.
Yeah.
Is they can be over there, and having fun. And they say, oh, what about she says something. Oh no, I don't think she will. But the soon as I know she make a face to one of my girls, they won't go. But I know my suegra,
Yeah.
she was really nice, really nice.
Yeah.
So
She was really loving to us.
yeah, so now the I'm in the other position to be a suegra. I thought about it and I say I want to be the best suegra that I can.
Me too.
And I'm raising my boy like, nope, I want you out of the house. I want you to get married. That like if you stay with me, it's like I didn't do my job right. I no, whatever she wants, whatever she want to do, I let her be.
Yeah.
Because we had to learn for whatever we went through in life. So for me, I say, okay, in the beginning, I didn't have the best suegra, but now I can be the best suegra.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's important. I think to myself, right? I can only imagine because I'm not there yet. I only have a little tiny baby.
No.
Yes. But I think to myself, if I pray and hope that a woman comes that loves him so much that she thinks she loves him more than me,
Yeah,
I
we
don't,
should be happy.
yeah,
if
like,
we know somebody who love our kids too much.
well, and that's what I mean.
I
Like,
love it.
in my opinion, and this is just me, I don't think nobody ever loves you like your mom. Like your mom loves you more than anyone. For those of you who have a good relationship with your mom, maybe it's your dad, but your mom loves you more than anyone. So if a girl comes and tells me, I love your son and he's the love of my life, I would say, gracias a Dios, Señor. Thank you for giving my son a good woman.
Yeah.
I think what I would struggle with, and this is just me being super honest, is if it was someone who didn't make him be in the right steps of life. Because we all want someone that's good for our son, right? We want a good woman that loves him, that takes care of him in the best way possible. Obviously we're raising men to be gentlemen, to help around the house, to do their part, right? But you got lucky, girl. You got it easy because my brother's girlfriend is great. Like she is literally.
I love her.
Me too. I love her too. So it's easy to love her because she's great.
No, but not only because she's great, but I can see her how much she loves my son.
Right. And that's what I mean.
When I see somebody who loves my son like that, and I love my son like that. So I want them to be happy, and I will do anything to help to make them happy.
Yeah.
I want to be there because, and also I have to respect her.
Yeah.
I'm not the woman in my son's life.
Right.
When he get married, that's when I stop.
But what I mean by that is like, it's easy to love someone like, I'll say her name. It's easy to love someone like Ari because Ari's great. Like cuando el man está con la Ari, he's very straight. He doesn't go out. He's just hanging out with her. Like she is amazing. She comes from a good family. Like, yeah, I would love someone like that for my son too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like cancelar el nombre de Jesús. Pero imagínate if Manny was with someone that like anduviera de callejera, or like she was always partying or drunk, or that there's nothing wrong with that, but you obviously want the best for your son. Like if I don't know, would you feel different if she was someone who was like,
actually I'm to the point that I pray like crazy for you guys. Like crazy. It's a mom's job to be praying like crazy, not only for my kids but for the ones you're gonna be spending your life with. Why? If he bring me somebody like that, like you say, I will pray double
for her.
Exactly. Why? Because if my son is choosing somebody even like that, I'm nobody to tell my kid leave that girl because of that.
That is powerful.
I'm sorry, but I had to say this because what about, like you say right now, you were so scared by your tattoos, and your tattoos doesn't speak who you are.
No.
It's just something that you in that moment wanted to express and put it on your skin, right? But you're a wonderful woman. So if I judge somebody because he brought it drunk that day, how I know if she got drunk only that day?
Yeah.
But because of one thing, I gonna push somebody, away from my son.
I think the only way it would raise alarms for me is if she was abusive to my son, if
Abusive, yes.
if she was abusive to my son, if they started some sort of like substance abuse, like severe substance abuse, I would be scared, or I would be like, okay, red flags, I need to watch out. But I would do the same for my son or my daughter. Like, that's just for anyone I love. I would do the same for you, you know, like if you started dating someone and they were abusive, even though you're my mom, I would be like, this is not the right person for you. Like, we need to step in. And
I think well, it will be another subject to talk about, to go deep into it. But I see your point of view, like, but also what I think is to be with this girl that has something like that. My son already going out with her, right?
yeah.
So whatever's going on in her life, and still they're telling my son, you should not be going out with this girl because of this and that, right? I will go and pray. I will fight the battle, myself, like, with God. I will go in and say, God, you're bringing this girl to my life. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want from me. How you want me to pray for this girl? Because that's my thinking. That's the way I am.
I am shocked.
God doesn't put anybody in front of me for no reason. So if somebody come like that to my life or to my kids' life, I will pray. That's my thing. I won't push nobody away.
I think that is powerful. And even though I am hosting this podcast, I am learning so much, because I would just see it as like, you need to leave her. But you're right. When you tell anyone, leave him, se aferran más. Ahí están más. I love
exactly.
him. So, I mean, yeah, you're right.
And it's something really bad, like you say, substance abuse or something really strong like that. I would see that there's something wrong with my son too, to be choosing somebody like that. Okay.
Wow.
Because if he's choosing somebody like that, I will find out if my son is doing it too, or where he meet this girl. Or it's had to be something stronger under what we see. So I will go to the root of the stuff, like why he dating somebody like that. Where did he meet this girl? And of course, I won't push the girl away, because even if I stay or not with my son, I won't push him away, or I won't push her away. I will find out how I can help this girl.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
Because we have to understand, I'm not perfect, and I made so many mistakes in my life that give me the right to see that I should not judge anybody and the first thing or whatever they're doing. I will go deeply, because I want to know how I can help this person, even if it stays with my son or not. So I'm really happy that my daughter-in-law right now, she's beautiful. She's so hard worker. She's smart and everything. And I thank God for that.
Me too.
But I try to raise my son to be like that also.
Yeah.
So what do you want for your son? That's what you're going to raise your son to look for it.
Yeah.
Well,
I think before we continue, I have to say I love this podcast, because I've been a mom for 6 months. You've been a mom for 32 years.
Yes.
And I love learning from you, because
I'm sorry, but my knowledge doesn't come from me. I mean, it comes from what God teach me in life.
But I love that we get to listen to this point of view, because I'm learning. I don't know who's gonna run into my son's life, but I know that if I have the power of prayer, here I am about to sound Jesus crazy,
yes,
but I know if I have the power of prayer, then we will figure it out. And I hope and pray my son gets someone as amazing as Manny did, because Manny found someone amazing super young. They've been together since high school, and I pray that Manny finds someone as amazing as Ari is. But I love that you say that. I love that you say, I won't push her away, because if my son chose her, that means he's at least someone like her. And
exactly.
And I think, we're very quick to judge. And I feel like maybe those suegras that judge the mother-in-laws, or like that judge us, is because they think they're better. But in reality, you're not, como dices tú, like, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. And I think we always want the best for our sons. But I mean, you said everything when you said, if he's choosing her, it's because he has to at least be hanging out in the same places as her.
Exactly. So it's like, what should I judge whoever's coming to my house before I check what did I have in the house?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, my suegra could have easily judged me and taken me for face value. And one of the things I love most about her is how she was so open and accepting. And I remember, like I said, she's very quiet. So it took us a long time to have a relationship. Like now, ahora somos comadres. Like we text all the time. Like I talk to her when I go to her house. But I remember one of the first things she did, they have a lot of parties at their house. But one of the first things she would always do is like when we would have parties at their house, she would serve Danny food and she would serve me.
Yes.
And I always loved that because she made me feel so welcome. And
Exactly.
she would always say, like, I remember one time her brother's wife came over and I met them for the first time, and mi suegra le dice, oh, esta es mi nuera, y dice la señora, oh, está muy bonita, y dice mi suegra, sí, está muy bonita. You know what I mean? Like, she always
Yeah.
makes me feel so welcome, so loved, like a part of her family. And
You are now.
well, yeah, now I'm married, huh?
Yeah, and then you have a beautiful baby.
I have
you
her-
know, they have their blood and everything.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, now that I have their baby, you know, I have their grandkid, one of the things that makes me be so open, because no matter what, as a daughter, we're always going to be closer to our moms, like I said.
Yes.
So even in my postpartum journey, Mom, can you come? Mom, can you help me? Mom, the baby's not sleeping, you know? And even though I have an amazing relationship with my suegra, I always try super hard, extra hard, to go out of my way to tell her, oh, suegra, esto pasó con el bebé. Suegra, look at this picture of the baby. Suegra, look at this. Because I want to include her. Because even though I have an easier relationship with you, I know someday I'm going to be grandma on the dad side. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope she includes me so much.
Yes.
Please.
That's what you're planting.
Yeah.
What you're planting is what you're gonna harvest. You know what you're gonna get back in life. So and if you're going to a bad relationship with your suegra, just understand that maybe she's going through something, or she went through something hard in life and she doesn't know how to act.
Yeah.
Or maybe she needs help.
Yeah.
But don't let anything that is going on in that relationship, you know, change you.
Yeah.
You know,
be the bigger person.
Exactly. Be the humble person, because it's like we say normally, you know, everywhere, like, kill it with kindness, you know, because it takes two to fight, but it takes one to change the world.
Yup.
You
And
know?
I feel like en vez de que haya dos locos, que nomás haya uno.
I'm not, I don't think about locals. I think about more like try to be more understanding.
Yeah.
Maybe she feel lonely. Maybe she feel, I'm talking about the suegra, you know, when they become toxic, or they're not welcome you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful person.
It's very,
they just know how to express themselves sometimes.
and it's very rarely about the person they're attacking. It's more about them. Like, they have something in their heart that doesn't allow them to accept you, because they wish they were like you. They wish they could have the love that their son is giving you. And you know, like I said earlier, we're no one to judge, and we're not even anyone to judge the suegras that we're talking about.
Oh, no.
You know? So now, you know, to kind of piggyback a little bit off of the grandkid topic, right? So like I said, I just had my baby, and my postpartum, obviously you were someone that helped me out a lot, because naturally you're my mom. My suegra, she came when the baby was little, you know, but you know, I just have naturally leaned on my mom. Do you think, you only have Santiago as your grandbaby, but do you think you'll love Manny's kids as much as you love my kids?
Of course. They're all my grandkids,
right?
You
but
know, I love all my grandkids, even though they haven't come to this world yet.
Yeah.
Santiago is my first one. I love him, and I will love all my grandkids.
Well, I asked because I got a question today when I asked for topics, and this girl said that her suegra treats her daughter's babies different than her babies because she's married to the suegra's son. And you know, in that saying in Spanish that says, los hijos de mis hijas son mis nietos, los de mis hijos no sé, or something like that, which basically means the kids of my daughters are my grandkids, but the kids of my sons, I don't know.
That's
toxic.
That's nonsense.
Tóxico.
Muy tóxico ese pensamiento cancelado.
Cancelado.
Yeah. I mean, if my son loves that girl,
period,
and he married that girl, and she had babies, I don't care. They're my grandkids.
Preach to the choir, girl.
They're my grandkids. I love them like they were my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the kids from my daughters. I love the kids from my son.
Yeah.
Because they're my grandkids. I'm not going to make no difference.
Yeah.
I love all of it because they're beautiful. I mean, we should not be separating this and that. That because if we start separating love and separating people, we have the problem.
I agree. And so, you know what's funny? Well, it's not funny, but now Santiago is the first grandbaby that comes from a son on Danny's side. So, because his sisters are the five oldest ones, they had kids, and Danny is the first boy in his family to have a baby. And my suegra shared with me, she told me when I was pregnant, I remember she told me, she's like, I don't know, and I won't talk too much about this because I don't know, but I don't know if she had a rough relationship with her suegra.
Okay.
But she told me when I was pregnant, she said, a Santiago, porque sabemos su nombre, a Santiago yo lo voy a creer igual que a todos. Quiero que sepas eso. And she kind of reassured to me, like, this grandbaby is just as much mine, because I think she was told that when she had her kids, you know? And it's sad, but it made her an amazing grandma. She loves Santiago. Oh my God. Whenever we do see her, because obviously we see you more often, you live close to us. Whenever we see her, I'm literally like, take your grandbaby.
Exactly.
Like, play with him, kiss him, hold him, be all up on him. And I just love her because ever since she was little, she was on my side. Like, si yo no quería que nadie besara al bebé, she would be like, nobody kiss the baby. If somebody would grab his hands, she would be like, Stacy, limpia las manos al bebé porque le agarraron las manos. So I just love my suegra because she has, and I strive to be like her.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I had the opposite, but I want to be the opposite.
And
so in this case, for example, when Manny get married, I will stay in the back.
Yeah.
Because he's the man, right?
Yeah.
So respecting my daughter-in-law, and I will tell my daughter-in-law, I understand that you want your mom here, but I'm here just in case you need me.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care what it is. I'm ready to help you.
Yep.
You know? Because we had to say it also.
Yeah.
I respect.
Yeah.
Because I know as a girl, I had girls, and I know you guys feel more comfortable with me. And I respect that for my daughter-in-law. And I will tell her, like, whatever you need, I'm here.
Yeah. And I think, I hope and pray, you know, Manny ends up marrying Ari. Ari is the oldest daughter. She only has an older brother. So I would love to be there for her postpartum journey, for her pregnancy journey, you know, like whatever she needs, because, oh my God, when Manny has kids, I'm going to go crazy. They're going to be so cute. They're going to be so cute. Literally, I'm going to be like, Manny, move. Let me see your baby, you know?
Yeah. I think it's everything about ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Because what we have inside, that's what we give out.
Yeah.
So just fulfill your life with love and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and give it to whoever is in front of you. And the people that comes against you is the one that needs more of your love.
Yeah. Yeah. But to recap, we say, if you have a toxic relationship with your suegra girl, trust me, it is not about you. She is just channeling her anger at you because she's jealous, because she doesn't know how to communicate, because she's sad she's losing her son. And I feel like if we try to be the bigger person, and I'm not saying it's easy, being the bigger person is hard. It is very hard, but at least you can sleep well with yourself at night knowing that
you try your best
and you're not making it worse, you know? Because at the end of the day, her as a mother to her son, I feel like her son needs a relationship with his mother.
Yes.
And he can have that and have a relationship with you. Kind of like how you did it with my grandma. Ve con tu mamá, lleva a las niñas. I'll be here. I'll hang out in the back. That way I'm not getting hurt. And you can continue to have a relationship with your mom.
Exactly.
You know? Of course, easier said than done. I'm sure some of you have horrible suegras. And I pray for you.
Pray for them.
Yes, pray for them. Que Dios las bendiga. Pray que le saquen el chamuco. I'm just kidding.
No. Actually, it's a really good book. When I read it in the Bible, the book of Ruth, it talk about relationship with the suegra and la nuera. And when I read that book, that's what I learned a lot. The way I think now and the way that I want to be a suegra with my daughter-in-law, because it talk about that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
This girl, Ruth, married the suegra's son, and the son in this book, the son died. And then the suegra told Ruth, you can go back to your family. You're still young. You can remarry, right? And then Ruth loves the suegra so much that she says, no, I will stay with you.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful book because I always ask myself, what the Ruth saw and the suegra that she want to stay with the suegra even though the husband died. You know what I mean? I always ask myself, like, what kind of suegra I can be for the daughter to stay with me, to want a relationship with me that good, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I always think about this book, and I always say, you want to be a really good suegra? Read this book.
Yeah.
Because I want my daughter-in-law to, when I read that book, that's when I thought about it. I want to be like this suegra.
Yeah.
So for my daughter-in-law to want to be with me, to want to come to my house, to want me to be with her kids, you know, because they're going to be my grandkids. So this is for the suegras, you know, like we in a position to be a suegra. But for you girls, you're young and you're dealing with suegras, they're not really good. Please, what you can do is step up a little bit and pray for your suegra.
Yeah.
Because I bet that she's an awesome woman. She doesn't know how to have a relationship with you yet, but at the end, I think it's gonna be all for good.
And I hope so, and I pray for that too. But we have done it again, girl. Another hour down.
Good.
Many more to go. But yeah, you guys, I hope that you guys got something good from this episode. We love to share our stories with you and our point of view. I would love to know down below how your relationship with your suegra is. If I think probably the majority of you guys are really young, so if you have a nuera, comment down below as well how your relationship with her is, and let's all pray and hope that we have an amazing relationship with our future nueras en el nombre de Dios, because I want a lifelong relationship with my son.
Oh yes.
And I want him and his wife to come to my house. I want them to ask for my help. I want to go on vacation with them. I want to take care of their babies. I want to be as involved as possible. And it's not a guarantee that I'll ever be a girl mom, because we don't know.
Yeah.
So if I'm meant to be a boy mom and I'm meant to have nothing but nueras, I can wait. Yes. Nuera in the future, if you're watching this, take me to get my nails done, girl. Let's go shopping, girl. I am ready for it. So that's gonna be it from us, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Happy December. The best time of the year is here. So we will see you guys next week on Monday. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and we appreciate you for being here. Que Dios nos las bendiga.
Amén.
Eternamente. Quiérete mucho.
Respétate más.
And we'll see you guys at the next video.
Thank you. Bye.